Hey, what's up guys? Coach Lou here from Bjj Dominance. So one of the big things I want to make for you guys is a whole series on the joints going up and stuff on like that'll carry over to your lifting in the gym and on the mat, right? And something like jiu-jitsu mobility and whatnot. But I'm huge on attacking people's ankles and feet, not on the mat, but rather like mobility wise, because I know and understand that it'll lead to problematic things. Like, just know that the ankle, knees, and hips, a stack of joints, and the knee is a slave to the ankle or the hip. So if there's a problem in the hip or something of dysfunction, doesn't move right, or in the ankles, the knee is gonna like make up for it, right? The knee is going to do something funky to make up for that compensation. It's the same thing with the ankle, right? So a lot of people's ankles, they don't really move right, right? They have tight calves, and I want to show you a couple quick drills that you could do, and a couple quick, like in both directions that the ankle moves, and well, it moves, turns also so sideways. That could really help you, because not only is it's going to hinder you in the weight room as far as on squats and deadlifts and certain lunging patterns, it's also going to hurt you on the mat, because if your ankle doesn't pull back enough, you're not going to be able to take an effective shot, right? You're not going to be able to do certain things. So one of the big ones that most likely you're all tight in your gastroc. It's one of the muscles to your back. One of the big ones I do is I kind of step up on, it doesn't have to be this, it could be a step or anything. You drop the heel right towards the ground, let gravity sit, right? About 30, 40 seconds on each side, right? Nice stretch. Play around with moving the toes also. You're obviously gonna hit both sides there. 2 to 3 sets. Another one that I like to do, which is big, is I want you to, and this is like a self-test type thing also, just literally sit your butt to your heels, right? And try to sit back. Now, does that really bother your knees? And it really shouldn't. Like, you should be able to just sit, right? Now, what you want to do, just about like 1 or 2 minutes, you want to spend time bringing a knee up, right? With that foot, the back of my foot or my toes are stuck there, right? Now, obviously, don't do anything like super forceful, but you want to pull and wrench that guy up, right? Now, that guy is being pulled in end range of motion, which is really important, because the more end range of motion you have, the better optimally it's going to work in its everyday function, right? And maybe spend 1 or 2 minutes. Pay attention if one side's better than the other. I tell you what, my right side is a bit worse than my left side. I could just feel it right there. So I got to spend some time on my right side there. Another really good one, and you could have 2 options here. Like a low setting is you want to track the knee over the ankle, the other way. So we've now, like the drill that we were doing on the ground, we were taking and pulling it back further that way. Now we want to send it this way, right? It's kind of hard to do it from up here. You could go somewhat higher, right? And you kind of prop this guy up and lean into this guy. I personally, I like to grab something and pull myself into position, right? And really, really, really kind of force that guy to move a little bit more, right? And like for myself, I broke this ankle many years ago. It doesn't move right as my left one does. And again, on all these drills, you could spend time. The best things I ever do for myself, like Wednesdays, on my current schedule, I don't really train. Wednesdays, I set a 10-minute, 12-minute clock, and I just go through different drills I need to do for me. And I set an alarm on my phone, play or move around for 12 minutes, right? And find some funky stuff. And after that 12 minutes is up, I'm done, right? So one last one that I want to show you guys. Really, you could, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Go up against the wall. You put your toes right up against that wall. We've all done this, right? If you come from any type of athletic background, coaches have had you do this drill, right? And you're gonna stretch the other way. So I think the one that we did, the first guy we did on the ground, is super important. This guy's important, I'll tell you that. The one where we're stepping and and going, bringing our knee. And don't only think, if I can show you guys one more thing, don't only think of straight lines, right? Because our knee and ankle have their ability in relationship to be able to shift and move, right? So hopefully some of these guys help you out. This is just the ankles. I'm gonna have stuff on the knees, the hips, the shoulders, the wrists, and whatnot. And most likely, the big thing you guys wanted to do is take care of it. But I think a lot of people's problems are in their upper backs, right? Especially for jiu-jitsu, since for most grapplers in general are always in this type of posture, which leads them to be like kind of like this a little bit. But whatever, that's down the road. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Coach Lee here from Bjj Dominance. See you later, guys.